Hi, this is Dominique Boucher from NuEco. I'd like to give you a quick overview of the sentence generation features of NuGram Pro. Here I have an ABNF grammar for collecting addresses for an address capture type of application. To start the sentence generator, I right-click in the editor to open the contextual menu, and then I select Debug followed by Generate Sentences. The sentence generator view displays a list of all the rules in your grammar and all its imported grammars. It also gives you the number of sentences that can be produced from each individual rule. As you can see, in this case, the root rule of my grammar can generate a fairly large number of sentences. So it doesn't make sense to generate them all. If I simply want to get a fixed number of phrases generated randomly, then the random sentences strategy can be selected for that rule only. So I simply select rule and then the random sentences strategy. I then enter the number of sentences I'd like and I click on the green triangle here. And that's it. Now, even if I generate a lot of random sentences, chances are that I won't get sentences for all the sentence patterns supported by the main rule. What I could do instead is generate all sentences from the root rule here, but constrain the set of sentences produced by the subrules, the rules that are referenced directly or indirectly by the root rule. For example, I could only be interested in 10 different numbers here, so I simply change the strategy for the number rule to random sentences, and then I set the number of sentences to 10. As you can see, this directly impacts the number of sentences generated by the root rule. This is because I made as if the number rule could only generate 10 different ways of saying a number. Now, if I change the strategy for the other rules here to only select the first sentence, then I get a fairly tractable number of phrases for the root rule. You see, I only have 260 sentences produced by the root rule. So now I can generate them and review them one by one, like that. Okay, suppose I'd like to generate sentences having a very specific pattern. I can use the Sentence Explorer to create the pattern and add it as a start expansion to the sentence generator. So I simply expand some rules here to create a pattern. And I click on the symbol in front of the pattern to select Generate Sentences from Derivation. Now if I go to the Start Expansions tab here, I just remove the default Start Expansion and what remains is the pattern I just created. So now I can simply start the generation process and get sentences from this very specific pattern. Finally, let me tell you a bit about the tags coverage strategy. It is very helpful in building a coverage test set for your grammar that will make sure that each and every semantic tag will be executed at least once. So all I have to do here is on my root rule is to select tags coverage strategy. Of course, I have to set the rule as the start expansion back again. And as you can see, I now have only 160 different sentences. This is the minimum set of sentences that are needed to cover all the semantic tags in my grammar. So I can just generate the sentences and add them to my coverage set. So that's about it. Thanks for listening.